Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim and a very good evening. Welcome to Primetime Asia. Tonight we provide the viewers with the latest items on political, socio-economic and cultural news around the Asia-Pacific nations. This includes rescue operations following an earthquake which jolted southwest China and central Japan. Meanwhile, in Jakarta, disaster experts gathered to discuss ways to deal with future tsunamis ahead of the 10th anniversary next month of the massive Indian Ocean tsunami. This segment also includes some of the agendas during the 18th SAARC summit in Kathmandu, Nepal this week, and China strengthens its relations with Pacific Island nations. Donovan Delamet for the reports.
Operations are now underway following the 6.3 magnitude quake which jolted southwest China's Kangding County, killing 5 and injuring 54 others. According to the China Earthquake Network Center, the quake shook the area with its epicenter in Tagong Town, about 37 kilometers from the county seat. The first group of 300 soldiers arrived at Muyazu King Primary School near the quake's epicenter, where some buildings were severely damaged. Soldiers helped put up tents, distributed quilts, and cooked for the teachers and students. Some 2,000 affected students received 300 tents and 3,000 quilts. 19 injured students, including one seriously injured, are currently being treated in a large hospital in Gardsi Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture. Members of staff from civil affairs authorities are dispatching relief materials to affected residents, including quilts, tents, water, and packages of instant noodles. Water, power, and telecommunication services are fully operational in the county. 2 drones were used to take aerial photos of towns in the quake's epicenter to help with the rescue operation. Sichuan, neighboring Tibet Autonomous Region, is mountainous and quake-prone. A massive 8.0 magnitude earthquake struck Wenchuan County in the province on May 12, 2008 and left more than 80,000 people dead or missing. And on April the 20th of last year, a 7.0 magnitude quake hit Lushan, killing at least 196.
我们这个县能够吃饱，我们这个部队要把学生保障好，这是我们的第一。
中午这个饭能吃饱吗？能哈。觉得味道怎么样呢？
一点好。
现在是中午12点，我们看到官兵们为孩子们物资的转运点塔公附近的2个镇以及1个乡的受灾群众，他们所需要的物资都需要从这里来运往受灾群众的手中。
新都桥拉的是那个100床棉被，然后是20顶。
Meanwhile, in Japan, preparations are underway to rebuild roads and a railway damaged by last week's earthquake in central Japan as aftershocks continue. The quake left 41 people injured in Nagano Prefecture. 7 of them suffered serious injuries. 34 houses collapsed while 25 others were severely or partially damaged. Over 300 people has to be sheltered at temporary evacuation centers. The water supply to over 700 houses has also been disrupted. Landslides have cut off roads and a railway, and engineers have started surveying the damage and prepare for reconstruction work. Weather agency officials are warning that aftershocks will continue for about a week. They also say there is a risk of mudslides when it rains, as the ground has been loosened by the jolts.
New faces as well, so I'd like to welcome.
Also related to earthquake, disaster experts have gathered in Jakarta this week to discuss ways to deal with possible tsunami ahead of the 10th anniversary next month of the massive Indian Ocean tsunami. The disaster on December the 26th of 2004 left more than 220,000 people dead or missing. About 300 people from across the world are joining the conference. They include experts and government personnel from affected nations such as Indonesia and Thailand, as well as from Japan, which suffered similar experiences in the tsunami that struck its northeastern region in March of 2011. Also attending is the former head of the Indonesian Reconstruction Agency, Kuntoro Mangkusubroto. He spearheaded reconstruction of Aceh, which was hardest hit by the tsunami. Conference participants also visited Aceh to observe tsunami preparedness measures and consider ongoing issues facing the region.
Japan learned a lot from the
The 18th SAARC summit convened in Kathmandu, Nepal this week with the theme of deeper regional integration for peace and prosperity. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is likely to seek the cooperation of the country's neighbors to check extremist violence and adopt an approach of zero tolerance towards terrorism at the two-day SAARC summit. According to official sources, the Prime Minister is expected to articulate strongly the issue of terrorism, which affected most of the South Asian countries, and stress the need of tackling the menace jointly. PM Modi will highlight before the heads of SAARC nations that India, being one of the worst victims of terrorism, has been taking an approach of zero tolerance towards the problem, and all countries must adopt a similar approach. The two-day SAARC summit is expected to deliberate on a range of issues, including liberalizing trade, enhancing cooperation in the fields of education, healthcare, ensuring energy security, and to deal with the challenges of climate change. The South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, or SAARC, comprises Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, the Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Afghanistan. Chinese studying the Japanese language take part in a quiz about Japan in Peking University. About 300 students from 89 universities took part. The quiz covered a wide range of topics, including culture, history, and economics, and the questions were in Japanese. The students were asked such questions as name 3 ranks of sumo wrestlers and what is the longest tunnel in Japan. A student from Luoyang City in central China was a member of the team that won the group competition. 15 students who got highest scores in the quiz will be invited to visit Japan next February. Japan's ambassador to China, Mr. Masato Kitera, closed the event by saying that he hopes the participants will become a bridge of friendship between the two countries in the future.
皆さんが近い将来、日中友好の架け橋としてご活躍されることを大いに期待する。
とても嬉しいです。日本に来てとても楽しみにしてます。初めて。
Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Vorengem Bainimarama have...
Fiji is benefiting from the visit by Chinese President Xi Jinping through a number of agreements that have been signed between the two countries. 4 memoranda of understanding, an agreement on economic and technical cooperation, and the construction of a sports complex are among the list of assistance been given to Fiji. The 6 signings are symbolic of China further strengthening its diplomatic ties with Fiji and the region. President Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Vorek Bainimarama have forged stronger relations following their meeting at Danarau. China reaffirming its continued support towards Fiji. The 4 MOUs include visa exemption for Fiji citizens traveling to China, an establishment of a Chinese cultural center in Fiji, provision of goods to address climate change in Fiji, and defense cooperation. There was an agreement signed for economic and technical cooperation and an exchange of letters for the construction of a sports complex at Vunidawa. China has also signed MOUs with Pacific Island countries like the Federated States of Micronesia, Samoa, PNG, Vanuatu, Cook Islands, Tonga, and Niue.
President Xi has announced further financial...
China has pledged close to $50 million Fijian dollars in development aid to Fiji following President Xi Jinping's bilateral talks with Prime Minister Vorek Bainimarama. China is also giving out $1 billion as infrastructure development for Pacific Island countries. President Xi has announced further financial grants following bilateral meetings in Nadi. The Chinese leader's three-day visit to meet with 8 Pacific Island countries who support the One China policy has been hailed as a success. Meanwhile, Tonga has proposed a regional bank be established to help island states develop infrastructure. President Xi has pledged 2,000 scholarships and 5,000 places for various studies and trainings in the next 5 years for island countries. China has welcomed Pacific countries to take a ride in their express train to development.
To help island states develop infrastructure. President Xi has pledged 2,000 scholarships and 5,000 places for various studies and trainings in the next 5 years for island countries. China and Fiji signed 6 agreements yesterday, further enhancing diplomatic ties with
This week's Primetime Asia also shares other interesting features, and these include the opening of the first box girder bridge in China. In Thailand, a shopping mall has set up an artificial ski slope as an effort to attract more Thai tourists spending winter in Japan. The Japanese Coast Guard have escorted a Chinese boat to Yokohama port near Tokyo after it was suspected of poaching coral. And in the Philippines, children from poor families have been given free haircuts. Stay tuned for more reports.
China's first box girder bridge is expected to open for traffic in August 2015. This week, designers and engineers working on the Puli Bridge project in the southwestern province of Yunnan started to put the steel girders into place so as to bolt them together to support the bridge deck. The Puli Bridge is located near the county of Zhuanwei, Qijing City in northeast Yunnan, is a mega bridge project launched by China in late 2011 in a bid to build its first box girder flyover bridge. The structure is said to be the largest in Asia. The span is part of the new G56 expressway that will connect Zhuanwei with the city of Liupanshu in Guizhou province, as well as the G76 expressway in the city of Bijie, Guizhou.
整个工作做完了以后啊，这个应该是要到明年的7月份。
Tourist officials from Sapporo have set up an artificial ski slope inside a shopping mall in central Bangkok. They're looking to attract more Thai tourists for the winter season. Visitors tried riding a sledge, skiing, or touching a snowman. Thai visitors to Japan have been increasing since the Japanese government began waiving visa requirements. Between January and October of this year, 513,300 people visited Japan from Thailand. That's 48% more than in the same period of last year. A Sapporo city official says as people can ski in Hokkaido until April, which is a holiday period in Thailand. The official says the city hopes to see more Thai tourists come and enjoy the snow. Capybaras have been enjoying a hot outdoor bath in the wintry weather at a botanical park in Ito, Shizuoka Prefecture. The animals have been treated to a hot soak every winter for more than 30 years. 5 capybaras relax in the 40 °C water. One woman said it was heartwarming to see the capybara enjoying their steamy bath. The park will allow the capybaras to use the bath until April the 5th. The Japanese Coast Guard have escorted a Chinese boat to Yokohama port near Tokyo after it was suspected of poaching coral. Japanese authorities say they spotted the boat in Japanese waters off the Ogasawara Islands. The Chinese vessel sailed into port on Monday and was found carrying nets allegedly used to haul up coral, which fetches high prices in China. The Coast Guard caught the boat releasing nets under the cover of darkness about 15 kilometers off one of the Ogasawara Islands. Coast Guard officers had arrested its captain and have already sent him to prosecutors. 9 Chinese captains have been arrested on charges of illegal fishing or defying orders to halt their vessels. And finally, tonight, a group of hairdressers from Japan are helping children in the Philippines by offering free haircuts. 10 Japanese hairdressers traveled to the city of Olongapo in central Luzon Island. It was arranged by a Japanese NGO which provides aid to the Philippines. About 50 children from poor families were given free haircuts. The hairdressers asked the kids about their favorite hairstyles and showed them samples from Japanese fashion magazines. A 5-year-old girl says she is so happy and is really grateful to the Japanese hairdressers. An 11-year-old boy who got a haircut for the first time in 3 months says it makes him feel happy.
Masaya. Kasi nagupitan po ako.
日本のプロの美容師さんのヘアカットを体験して本当に可愛くなったかっこよくなったっていうところをですねで喜んでほしい。
And that concludes this week's edition of Primetime Asia. Till we meet again with more interesting news next week. To watch more on our Primetime Asia portal video, you can visit our website at www.rtbnews.rtb.gov.bn. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and wishing you all a pleasant week ahead and good night.